Welcome to Nacho Fitness Coach. Two friends discuss all things fitness to bring knowledge and some opinion to you wherever you may be in your health journey. My friend Caleigh, the beginner, almost ran a 5K once, recently had her first protein shake, and is the proud owner of one set of 5-pound dumbbells.
And my friend Sara, the expert, grunts when she lifts, has race walked dozens of races, including a full marathon, and has 12 open protein tubs in the pantry. So let's get started.
Whoa. Okay, so this podcast is for entertainment only. If you have concerns about your health, consult a physician or other healthcare professionals. So Caleigh, what do you know about spot reducing fat?
I didn't know anything about it. I saw you had it on the list of topics to cover, and I was like, I don't know what that is. I mean, I spent approximately 2 minutes of my life researching what this is. My
Dedication.
Yeah, I really gave it a lot. My current understanding is where you attempt to remove or burn fat from a certain area of the body through exercise, exercising specific muscles in a desired area. Mm-hmm. So like if you want to lose belly fat, you exercise the abdominal muscles. Like I said, I did a Google search. The very first thing that came up was wikipedia.com saying that, quote, the general consensus among fitness experts and researchers is that spot reduction is a myth, unquote. The very next search result was from mennohenselmans.com and said, quote, new science, spot reduction is not a myth, unquote. Okay.
Wow, 1 and 2.
So I learned that if I want it to be a thing that I can do,
I go to number 2.
I can find articles telling me it's possible and how to do it. If I want it to be a myth, I can find articles telling me that it's a myth and not to waste my time. Like I said, I didn't even know this was a thing. I saw it on the list. After doing this 2 minutes of research, I'm under the impression that it may be a controversial topic in the fitness world. And I have a feeling
Wikipedia was number 1, though.
I have a feeling you have some enthusiastic things to say on this topic.
I have an opinion.
So I will give you the floor, and I will be over here if you need me.
Shocker. I have an opinion about this topic. And I added it to the list because I feel like every new client that I started to work with, they would have an area that they're like, I just want the fat to be gone from here. Mm-hmm. And there would literally be like a physical like grabbing of the belly, right, or like the thighs, or like, I just want this gone.
I've done this to you.
I mean, it's like,
we've had this conversation.
How do you get rid of this? Mm-hmm. When you grab it, or like I will have women that come up to me and, they'll hold up their arm and they'll hit the wings. Yeah. They're like, how do I get rid of this? And they're hitting their like back of their triceps, and it's like the bat wings. How do I get rid of these? And I'm like, well, is that muscle or fat? They're like, what exercise should I do to get rid of this? Yeah. And my answer always is, was that muscle or fat? And that usually gets a pretty blank stare. Yeah. It really does.
I'm looking at you right now.
In the exact same way.
I don't know where you're going with this. What is this?
So that is always like, it's like, I'm like, well, is that a muscle or fat? And then it's like, I'm like, if you can grab it like that, chances are, and that's probably fat.
Okay.
Exercises don't work the fat.
Oh.
They're for your muscles.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that makes sense though, right?
Does, right.
I mean, okay, so.
But it also makes sense for me to think that like, okay, because that's the thing I want to start working on is my arms and my bat wings, right? So I guess I thought like, I need to start doing arm workouts to get rid of that. What are you telling me?
I'm going to go with Wikipedia on this one. Okay. Google search result number 1 is my stance on this. Okay. I have not found in my personal or professional experience that it is possible to spot reduce fat. And what I actually have noticed the most based on my own journeys as well as watching clients is it seems like the area that you dislike the most, your number one, like, I want this gone. You're grabbing your belly and you're kind of shaking whatever. It's the last part to go. If you're starting, like, you're like, okay, I really want to get rid of my belly. So you're like, I'm going to do all the right things. I'm going to, I'm going to exercise. I'm going to watch my nutrition. I'm going to try to reduce my weight, try to change my body composition a little bit, start strength training, implement some cardio, blah, 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 right? You're doing all the things. And it just like, it loses from your fingers first. Like
what?
I know. Well, it's weird. But people are like, what? And I'm like, all of a sudden you'll notice that your ring is getting looser. Like if you wear rings, that's always the first thing that somebody will be like, my rings are getting loose. Like it's bothering me because now it's like moving. And I'm like, well, you have fat in your fingers.
See, I don't generally wear my wedding ring, and I put it on because we had an event.
Yeah. Is it loose?
It was very loose.
I mean, because you've lost your weight lately. So it's just like, okay, there's fat in your fingers. So for me, I always feel like you're losing body fat from like all over. And it just kind of depends on where it's the thickest is where it's going to feel like it loses the last, because that's where it had like that much to leave from. Right. If that makes sense.
Okay. So let's pretend like I want to like target my arms. Next, like that's the next thing I want to do is I want to work on my arms. Yeah. Like that's not a thing or
no, you can. Now, what you can do, though, is if you implement strength training, right, and you're changing the shape of your muscles under the fat, okay, you might start to see like a difference in like the shape. Okay. However, if you're looking for that like toned look,
so so what you're telling me is I can't burn that extra fat on my arms
by doing
through exercise.
No.
Okay.
No. Like it's through nutrition. Like it's through nutrition. Through moving your body, getting to the point where you're in a fat burning stage. Okay. But when you start in that stage and you're losing it, it starts losing from all over. You'll start to feel like your face is maybe a little bit leaner, your chin,
maybe I have
your
less,
6 chins.
One of my chins goes away.
Your rings will start twisting a little bit more. One area then too, I feel like after that, the comments are always, my bra fit's different. Okay. Well, your back is a really big like surface area, but you're not usually looking in the mirror at your back. And so that's true. You'll start to see, changes will start happening in your back. Yeah. That you don't see when you're looking in the mirror, but then you'll go to start getting dressed and you'll be like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But for me, like my spots are my belly and like my like saddlebags, like the side of your thighs, like right under and those are the areas that I hyper focus on, like when I look in the mirror, and I want those to be gone first. Yeah. For me, that's also where the largest volume of fat is sitting, and it just takes a lot longer. So it sucks because you want to see progress in the areas that you're wanting to see progress.
Yeah, this is a real bummer.
It is. I know. Well, yes.
Episode. I don't really Can we not talk about this anymore? I'm done.
Great. There's no hope.
Because that was like the next thing I was going to do was like work on my arms. And now,
well, I mean, you could still work on your arms. We should still work on your arms, and we have the opportunity to like, be able to say, okay, you want to change the shape of the muscle under there. And so you want to change the shape, but then you also have to make your overall body fat percentage leaner so that you can actually see the changes. So it's a combination of both. I
see what you're saying. No. I mean, because honestly, I would say just I've been mostly running and or walking over the last 6 months, and I can see the difference in my legs. I mean, that's the primary muscle group being used as my legs, but I see it everywhere. I mean, I see the results all over my body.
Have you even picked up your 5-pound set of 5-pound dumbbells? You have at your house? So what have you used those for then? Okay, maybe I don't want to know the answer to that question. What? Okay, well, we'll save that for
another podcast. No, I have a YouTube video, like a upper body. Okay. I've been kind of slacking on it lately, but.
So you had some upper body exercises that you were implementing to kind of work on that a little bit. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, at least it was something to get started. But
that's so cute.
Is that going to make your fat on your tricep go away? Probably
not. I thought it was.
Well, sorry.
Yeah, no.
Like the biggest disappointment.
Everything is a lie. Stop hanging out with you.
But that is what is so hard about all of this. I have, it's like that's why everything is so confusing because you were able to find.
Yeah, because I thought now I'm ready to work on my arms. I'll start working out my arms. And apparently it doesn't do anything. So that's fine. That's fine. It's fine. I'm fine.
I'm just. It's fine. I'm fine. The whole world, like, it's crashing down all around me, but it's okay. We're going to take it one step at a time.
Right. Fine.
Yeah. Okay. I'd be interested to know what research result number 2 said about what the study was. And how you didn't click into it.
I didn't go that down.
Got the summary
deep into the rabbit hole.
That's true. And we only had 120 seconds of your research.
I didn't give a lot of, I mean, it bummed me out from the get-go. I was like, all right, Sarah wants to talk about spot reducing fat. What the hell is that? I don't know. Let me look it up.
And 1 and 2, complete opposite.
Yeah. And then I figured, I got to reading about it and I was like, wait, I can't burn fat from my arms by exercising my arms? What?
Darkness.
So I just moved on. I just moved on. I did what I needed to do, got the information I needed, and I moved on.
So then what information did you take from that? I just give up.
Yeah, I'm done. No, I didn't know. I didn't know any of this. I didn't know that you couldn't just exercise a part of your body and not like get results.
Get rid of
like that.
Get rid of the fat by doing crunches.
So you can build muscle.
Yeah, you build the muscle through the exercise. So you want to build the muscle through the exercise. Okay,
I'm fine. I'm back. I'm back.
You're with me now again. Okay. So there's still benefit to exercising.
Right.
And doing the strength training, because what you're doing then is through the strength training, you're tearing your muscle fibers down so it builds back.
So you can't burn specific fat from an area.
No.
But you can build muscle in a specific area.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. See, so now we're back. So that's like, okay, you can build more. You can increase the density so it changes shape. Like, that's how you change your shape. But that's the trick though, because so many people will be like, oh, I started doing this, I started strength training or I started going to this group class and we started like lifting heavier weights. Yeah. And now I just feel like I'm getting bulky. Mm-hmm. I hear that a lot too, where it's like, now I just feel like I'm getting bulky. Well, oftentimes what happens in that case is new muscles being built, shape is changing, but there's not also then body fat that's getting decreased. And so what's happening is your muscles just kind of like building underneath and just pushing your fat layer out further. Right, so you feel like you're just like thicker and bigger when you're building, you're getting more dense, but just got to lean out a little bit and all will be good. So, if that's your particular goal.
I don't know what my goal is.
We're just here.
I don't know.
So yeah, no, it is definitely not something, but it does. It starts off by starts in the extremities. Like that's always the first thing. I didn't know that. I feel like rings start getting looser. You'll see it, you'll feel it, and like your arms, your back, shirts will start fitting differently. But it's those areas that you're hyper focusing on will be like the last to go, generally speaking, based on my experience, which can be super frustrating, but you just got to kind of keep with it. You got to keep going and you'll eventually get there. But yeah, I mean, that is the one bummer part about it because you just have to keep working on burning all of it. And it's going to leave where it's the thinnest first, right? I mean, because it's kind of going from everywhere.
And so is this a thing is this a controversial thing? Like, are there people out there that say otherwise?
Yes. Okay. Yes. I mean, I do feel like obviously, like you got it right away. Right. Second result. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like people will promise that
and
it
they're
can
calling
be done.
It science. New science. Spot reduction is not a myth.
And I would love to see the science because that's the thing. By the time you see you say they start putting those headlines out there. They do even like the short little paragraphs in the search results.
I would recommend checking out our show notes in the podcast to find
the links to the specific articles because I haven't seen which one that you were looking up. And so it's like, anytime you see information online that's specifically referencing research or a study or whatever, I mean, you really have to do due diligence in the details of what they studied, who they studied, what their sample size was. I mean, taking some of that stuff like surface level and honestly, like it ends up, in my opinion, being one of those things where like, if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true.
Yeah. I mean,
right? Because isn't that what everyone wants?
I mean, I guess I just always thought that's the way it worked though. You work out a certain part of your body and
just the fat just melts away.
Yeah, I guess, but apparently
that's different.
It's fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
It's muscle versus fat, Caleigh.
Makes sense now that you're putting it like that. It makes perfect sense. It's fine. I'm fine, I said.
That's what's actually interesting too, is I look at like pictures of me from years ago.
Yeah.
My weight stays somewhat in a general range, except for like through pregnancies and stuff where it kind of like bounced up and came back down or whatever. But, the weight I am right now, I had phases in like college that I was the same like physical weight on the scale. Mm-hmm. But when I see pictures, even from when I first met Dane, I was honestly probably about the same weight on the scale as I am now.
Yeah.
But my face was so round. Like it was round. My body composition was completely different back then. And so that is something else too. I mean, it does. It sits in your face. It sits in your chin. It's everywhere.
All 6 of my chins.
And so, count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Present and accounted for.
Perfect. And so that is what is crazy too about it, is it's not as it relates to scale weight either. Yeah. It's truly kind of understanding the difference between muscle, fat, your organs, bones, everything else. I mean, your water weight, there's so much that goes into your overall composition of your body, and how it will make a difference. But it's your overall body fat can make a huge difference.
How often do you weigh yourself, out of curiosity?
I have more frequently now, only because I'm in the middle of program that I'm really trying to like pay attention. I have weekly check-ins. So right now I should only be doing it once a week, but I have gotten really interested in understanding, like we still eat out at restaurants and stuff, right? And oftentimes meals at restaurants will have higher levels of sodium than if you cook at home. And I have started paying attention more to how much I will feel water loaded after I have a restaurant meal. And so I kind of have been like watching that on the scale, mostly because I'm like, oh, what did I, and then it's just drink a bunch of water, flush it back out, and I'm back to where I should be. But between, like, if I'm not in a program with check-ins, I don't really ever weigh myself. I don't like it. But what about you?
Every morning.
Every morning?
Yeah.
What is that? What is the purpose of that?
I don't know.
Did it become habit?
Yeah, I think at this point it's a habit.
When did it start?
Probably when I started the Couch to 5K.
Oh, so like since the summer. How long it had been since before then?
Like how much did I weigh myself?
Yeah.
Not very often. Every once in a while. But I'm also like, because I know that like a lot of it is like, the day-to-day fluctuations are like water weight.
Yeah.
And so I don't get too hung up on. I've been thinking lately I need to switch to like maybe once a week.
Probably a good idea.
The daily weigh-ins you don't garner any new,
No.
The difference between one day to the next day isn't going to tell you anything, right?
It puts a focus on a number that is maybe not most important number.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So, focusing on making sure you're doing the right things 7 days a week, and that is like a byproduct of that, like putting your focus on other areas, and then just realizing this outcome, because it is a very slippery slope a lot of times for people, that you can get like hyper focused on that number,
right.
And when you can do that, eat at a restaurant and you waterlogged 3 pounds or whatever, or depending on where your cycle's at, like you can have water retention through different phases of cycles with your hormones.
Yeah, because you can literally go from like, there can be a 4 pound difference in a matter of hours.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And so if 4 to 7 is what I would always say.
Yeah.
You get into those numbers.
That's crazy.
If you're really fixed on your scale weight,
yeah.
It can be really hard to kind of shake that image. And so, trying to find a way to get out of that cycle, focusing on something else. So then it's one of those things where it's like, okay, how do you at home test your body fat percentage?
Right.
Because if that's now become a marker, that's a good number to know and understand. How do you make sure that you are building muscle if you're strength training and you're trying to change the shape while you're decreasing body fat, which would cancel out on the scale, right? Which can also be really challenging.
Yeah, and that's what like Jeremy would tell me all the time when I first started running. Like I'm not losing weight. That was my goal. I want to lose weight. And Jeremy's like, you're gaining muscle. you're not gonna see this decline on the scale.
Yeah. No, it can be an equal swap sometimes. And but that is hard though, when you're not seeing that number on the scale, because we've been so conditioned, I feel like, as a society, or how we're marketed to.
Absolutely.
That your scale weight defines you. Your scale weight defines, certain goals or whatever else. But the reality of it is like, that's not necessarily what's going to be the indicator of how you look in the mirror.
Right.
And so it could be really hard. So body fat percentage at home, I mean, there's the most specific way is to do like in a pool with water, which we don't have anywhere around here. There are bod pods, which actually we went through a period of time where we did like a monthly bod pod check-in. And it's like this, it was like this egg looking thing that the door opens. And what it does is it like, I think if I remember right, somehow it uses gravity and like takes out something with the air pressure. I think I could totally, here, let's look it up. Bod pod. You Google it. Bod pod. Because I can't remember exactly how it works, but it just goes through and it's hooked up to a computer and it does this measurement and it does this breakdown of your body composition. So that's the second most accurate way to do it. I would say most people at home maybe have a scale that does bioelectrical like impedance. That if you're just standing on a scale that does that, it's really challenging because it's sending those little wavelengths.
What about like
your watch?
Watch does like a body composition.
It does?
Yeah, I just put my two fingers on.
What's it say? Have you done it?
Yeah.
What's your output?
Right now? You want me to do it now?
Well, you can show me the history. No, you don't want to share that information. We talk about scale weight. We know how tall we are.
I don't do it like regularly.
I would be interested.
I think
to know,
I'm supposed to do it. I think you're
is.
supposed to do it like semi-regularly, like the same time.
So it probably calibrates and like figures out like what you. I mean, that is one thing. Like if you are gonna,
on my phone,
that is one way to be as most accurate with it as you possibly can. Is if you do it like first thing in the morning.
Yeah, and I weigh myself every morning, but what I don't do is check this body composition.
You can also.
So I don't know, but I don't know what all this means.
Oh, I do. Okay, so here we go.
And I don't know when that date would like when the last time I did it was
also from. Body calipers, like body fat calipers, like when at the gym that I worked at, like in Kansas City, we did body composition pinchers on everybody. And I mean, I just got really used to it. It doesn't really matter, but you're grabbing at people's fat then, and you're using this like pincher thing that measures.
Hard pass.
And you have,
no, thank you.
You have like a little calculator, formulation that you run the numbers in, and it tells you a breakdown.
That's a lot.
Here's what you do that's really helpful with that information, though. It gives you an idea, hopefully, like a general idea of what your muscle mass is versus your fat.
Read my results.
Okay, here we go. All right, so we got 141 is your current weight, and it looks like you're within normal range.
Yeah, that's what I've always kind of garnered.
This is BMI though. See, like, okay.
What do you want?
I want your body fat percentage, which this is really, there we go. Okay, this is BMI. So here's actually an interesting thing. This would be a whole nother probably episode on BMI versus body fat percentage, because there's this whole thing, the medical community, because it's really super fast and easy, uses the BMI calculation to identify some cure. But especially if you're somebody that's really dense muscularly, your BMI is not always super accurate. So anyways, body fat percentage. Ooh, no.
What?
I don't think this is probably super accurate.
Why?
Because I'm looking at you and I'm saying you're probably not 35% body fat. Should I go I'm going to get my calipers. I'm going to pinch you.
I mean, if this is like a road you want to go down,
I mean, it helps us.
Do you think I'm not that much, or
no,
I'm
I don't.
much fatter
I don't
than
think.
that?
I mean, I would be surprised. But this is what is hard though about technology like this, is because it's.
Well, yeah, you're telling me that putting my two fingers on the buttons on my watch might not give me the most accurate. I thought this was solid.
I mean, who would have known?
That's why I've never really put much into these numbers, because
I mean, no, it's it's a decent benchmark, but I mean, the hard part of this is if you would go to Google and you would say, is 35
right?
Actually,
exactly.
you should Google that.
All right.
See what it comes back as, and you'll realize why I don't agree with it. So
what am I saying?
You're saying is a 35.1% body fat.
Well, that's a question mark, not a percent. Hold on. Body fat.
Healthy. Try that. Just see what Google says. say fat mass. Okay. I mean, I feel like the fat mass.
Do you want me to actually click on the first result?
Sure. What does it say? Yeah. Let's see what Dr. Google says.
Dexafit.com. Okay. What is the ideal?
So a DEXA scan. Oh, that's another accurate one.
What is the ideal body fat percentage?
Water, DEXA, bod pod. That one is in there too.
I don't think it's going to give me is that specific number healthy though.
Oh,
women. So, okay. So I'm in the 20 to 40 years.
Yeah.
Under fat. Okay. So 20 to 40 years.
Should give you like a category.
Under 21% healthy, 21 to 33% overweight, 33 to 39% obese.
See? And that's not true for you. I can tell by looking at you. Like if I had my calipers here and I got my measurements through my little pinchers, I don't think that would be the same. So that's where it's hard though.
So you're saying you're like you're attracted to me or
no? Hey, hey, girl. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so it also the same challenge comes with like the different scales that do the bioelectrical impedance, because if you're only standing on it, it's going to run that little electrical feed and it's like going to take the shortest path possible. So usually it's like measuring like your lower half, right? Because it'll go up one leg, it'll go down the other to measure. Some of them will have like a handheld one, which is a step better because then you're like sending that little signal through your upper extremities as well as your lower. But yeah, I mean, they're not going to be super accurate. So anyways, but it is not possible, in my opinion.
Okay.
Or for myself or what I've seen with clients that there is an opportunity to necessarily spot reduce body fat. I feel like it just kind of goes from everywhere and you just got to roll with it.
Okay.
But we'll see.
All right. So we don't really need to love it or hate it. It just is what it is, right? These are facts.
I mean, they're my kind of facts.
Okay. I don't know. I have nothing else to go off of. So.
I mean, it just kind of is what it is.
I'm bummed. I'm bummed.
Like, I'm sorry.
It's fine. I'm fine.
You hate the answer.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. I didn't know this was a thing, I don't know. Learning something new every day.
Now you know. So, all right, that's where we're at. Not likely, but until next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the episode. Be sure to let us know how you feel about the topic. Do you love it or hate it?
Also, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating, and of course, tell your friends. Until next time.
You've been listening to Euphony Innovatives Sonified.